Hello once again, welcome to another example on the SED. Okay, and this is a unique example under the addition and subtraction of SED that I taught you in the previous videos. In the previous videos, I've already taught you about addition and subtraction of SED. Okay, so this is a question under that, okay, a unique type that I've not solved with you before. So I want to solve it with you so that in case you come across it anywhere, you know how to handle it. Okay, so this is example 5, but it's under the addition and subtraction of SED. Okay, so let's look at it. So example 5, it says simplify 3 root 8 plus 2 root 200 minus 2 root 162 all over root 50 plus root 18. Okay, so we have to simplify what we have on the board. Okay, so let me write my solution and let's do it together. Okay, so let me write down my solution. Now look at this. You see, now if you attempt to do everything together, you might get confused. Okay, so the best way to handle this is that you separate them. Okay, you can see we have the numerator and we have the denominator. Okay, so let's solve for only the numerator and get our answer. Then afterwards we solve for only the denominator and we get an answer. Then we join it together and simplify further. Okay, so that is the best way to handle this question. Okay, so when you have a big problem like this, the best way to handle is that you divide them into pieces. Okay, so we are going to do for the numerator, we get an answer, we put it down. Then we do for the denominator, we get an answer and put it down. Then we can join the two of them, then we simplify further. So that is the best way to handle this. Okay, if you try to do everything together, it will become much complicated and you will get confused. Okay, so I will advise that we do only the numerator, then we do the denominator as well. Then after that we can join the two answers, then we simplify further. That is the best way to go about it. Okay, so I'm going to solve only the numerator first. Okay, so I'm going to say for the, okay, so for the numerator, okay, so we are going to do only for the numerator. Okay, so then for the numerator we have, let me repeat the question. I have 3 root 8, I hope you are following. Okay, 3 root 8 plus 2 root 200 minus 2 root 162. Okay, so now we are going to simplify each term that we have here. Okay, using the knowledge that we have on simplification of SED. Okay, because this root 8 we can simplify it, so we are going to simplify it. This root 200 we can simplify it, and this root 162 also we can simplify it. So we are going to simplify each term, then after that we put everything together. Okay, so now let's start by simplifying this root 3, and don't forget the root 8. Okay, the 3 here will multiply whatever that we get. Okay, and the 2 here also will multiply whatever that we get for this one, and the minus 2 here also will multiply whatever value that we get for the root 162. Okay, let me go over one more time. I'm saying that we are going to simplify each term. Okay, so this root 8 we are going to simplify it using the knowledge that we have on the simplification of SED. I've taught you simplification of SED, so we are going to apply that knowledge to simplify the square root of 8. But don't forget that there's 3 here multiplying the square root of 8, so whatever answer we get, the 3 will multiply it. Okay, and also we are going to simplify the square root of 200, and I'm saying that we have 2 here also multiplying the square root of 200, so that 2 will multiply whatever answer that we get for simplifying the square root of 200. And we have minus 2 here multiplying square root of 162, so that minus 2 will also multiply whatever value that we get for simplifying the square root of 162. Okay, hope the explanation is clear enough. Okay, so let's go ahead. So now the 3, I'll repeat the 3 which is here, times, you bring brackets because the 3 is multiplying the root 8, and that root 8 we need to simplify it. So using the knowledge that we've had on the simplification of SED, so we are going to look for 2 numbers that can multiply to give back the 8, but those 2 numbers, one of it needs to be a perfect square. Okay, we've done this a lot in the previous videos. Okay, so the 2 numbers that come in mind will be 4 times 2. We know 4 times 2 gives 8, and the 4 is a perfect square. So in place of the 8, we are going to write 4 times 2 or 2 times 4 is the same thing. Okay, so my 3 here, you bring your bracket and then you bring your square root sign, and the 8 I'll replace it with 4 times 2. I hope you agree with me up to this point. Then you close your bracket. Okay, so close your bracket, you take it one at a time. Okay, now your addition sign, which is here, you bring it. Now bring your 2, which is also here. Now the 2 is multiplying the root 200, so bring your bracket. And the root 200 also, we are going to simplify it using the simplification of set that we learned. Okay, so we are going to look for 2 numbers that can multiply to give back the 200. But that two numbers, one of it needs to be a perfect square. Okay, and the best 2 numbers you can use would be 2 times 100. Okay, 2 times 100 gives 200, and the 100 is a perfect square. Okay, so in place of the 200, I'm going to write 100 times 2, or 2 times 100 is the same thing. So your 2 is here, okay, times, because the 2 is multiplying the root 200, so that's why I bring your bracket. Then bring your square root sign, and the 200, I'm going to replace it with 100 times 2. I hope you agree with me up to this point. Then you close your bracket. You bring your minus sign, which is here. Then bring the 2, which is here as well. Then this minus 2 is multiplying the root of 162. So you bring your bracket. Then the square root of 162 also, we have to simplify using the simplification of set, the knowledge on the simplification of set. Okay, so I'm going to look for 2 numbers that can multiply to give me back the 162. Okay, but those 2 numbers, one of it needs to be a perfect square, and we can use 2 times 81. We know 2 times 81 gives 162, and the 81 is a perfect square. So in place of the 162, I'm going to write 81 times 2, or 2 times 81. Okay, so it's going to be square root of, then the 162, I'll replace it with 81 times 2. You close your bracket. I hope the explanation is clear enough up to this point. Okay, so let me clean this 2 and write it well. Okay, so my 2 is there. I hope you understand. Okay, so now let's go ahead and simplify further. Repeat your 3, which is here. Bring your bracket. We've learned that the square root affects everything down here. So the square root will affect the 4 and also affect these 2. So we can separate them by writing it as square root of 4 times square root of 2. Then you close your bracket. Bring your plus, which is here, and bring your 2, which is here. Bring your bracket. And this one also, the square root of 100 times 2. We know that the square root sign affects everything down here. So you can separate it by writing it as square root of 100 times square root of 2. We've learned this in the previous videos. Okay, so it's going to be square root of 100 times square root of 2. You close your bracket. Bring your minus sign, which is here, and bring your 2. Then bring your bracket. Now this one also, we are going to repeat the same process for it. Okay, so the square root sign affects everything down here. So the square root sign will affect the 81 and also affect the 2 as well. So we are going to write it as square root of 81 times square root of 2. Okay, and I hope you understand up to this point. Okay, so let's go ahead and simplify further. Okay, so now I'm going to repeat the 3, which is here. Bring your bracket. Square root of 4, we know the answer to be 2, so write your 2 times square root of 2. We are not going to get a whole number as an answer for it, so just repeat your square root of 2. Okay, so times square root of 2. Okay, close your bracket. Plus, bring your 2, which is here. Now this square root of 100. Okay, we know the answer for it. Square root of 100 is 10, so write your 10 times the square root of 2. We will not get a whole number as an answer, so just repeat your square root of 2. Okay, I hope you agree with me. Then bring your minus 2, which is here. Bring your bracket. Square root of 81, we know the answer to be 9. So write your 9 times the square root of 2. We will not get a whole number as an answer for it, so just repeat the square root of 2, which is there. I hope you agree with me up to this point. Let's go ahead and simplify further. Okay, let's simplify what is in the bracket. So repeat your 3, which is here. 2 times root 2 gives 2 root 2. Okay, I hope you understand this by now because we've done a lot of explanation on this in the previous videos. Okay, this multiplication. Okay, so this 2 times root 2, it gives 2 root 2. Then plus, bring your 2, which is here. We are going to simplify what is in this bracket as well, which is 10 times root 2 is going to give 10 root 2. Okay, you close your bracket. Then minus the 2, which is here. Now 9 times root 2 also is going to give 9 root 2. You close your bracket. I hope you agree with me up to this point. Okay, now let's simplify further. Okay, so 3 times 2 root 2, it's going to give me 6 root 2. I hope you agree with me. Okay, then bring your plus, which is here. 2 times 10 root 2 is going to give me 20 root 2. Okay, then minus 2 times 9 root 2 is going to give me minus 18 root 2. I hope you understand up to this point. Okay, so we just simplified, okay, up to this point. Now let's go ahead and simplify further. Okay, I have 6 root 2 plus 20 root 2 minus 18 root 2. So let's do the first two. The answer we get, we join it with the last one. Okay, nothing difficult about it. So let's take our time and do it. Okay, so I have 6 root 2 plus 20 root 2, and that is going to give me 26 root 2. I hope you agree with me. You are going to get 26 root 2. Okay, so that's what you are going to get. Then minus the 18 root 2 that we have here. Okay, please hope you get the understanding up to this point. Okay, and please hope you understand, and I hope you can see it from here. Okay, so I have 26 root 2 minus 18 root 2. Okay, so the first two, the 6 root 2 plus the 20 root 2, it gives 26 root 2. Then minus the 18 root 2 that we have here. Okay, now let's simplify further and write our final answer for simplifying the numerator. Okay, so I have 26 root 2 minus 18 root 2. Okay, and that is going to give me 8 root 2. I hope you agree with me. So I'm going to get 8 root 2. So 8 root 2. Okay, so this is the answer for simplifying the numerator. Okay, so let me write it well so that you can see it. I can see it's not really clear from there. Okay, so let me write it well. So I'm going to get 8 root 2. Okay, I hope you can see it well now. Okay, yes, so we have 8 root 2 for simplifying the numerator. Please, I hope the explanation is clear enough up to this point. So let's go ahead and do for the denominator as well. Okay, so I'm going to do for the, okay, so for the denominator, okay, I hope you can see from here. So for the denominator, let me shift it here so that everything will go there. Okay, so for the denominator, okay, so we are done with the numerator. We have to solve for the denominator as well. The denominator, we have root 50, okay, plus root 18. Okay, so we are going to simplify it as well. Okay, so we are going to go through the same process, okay, of simplifying each term, okay, as we did with this one. Okay, so we are going to look for two numbers that can multiply to give back the 50. Okay, but those two numbers, one of it needs to be a perfect square. Okay, and the two numbers that comes in mind will be 2 times 25. We know 2 times 25 gives 50, and the 25 is a perfect square. Okay, so in place of the 50, I write 25 times 2 or 2 times 25. So this one is going to be square root of 25 times 2 plus, I hope you are following, not difficult. And the 18 also we are going to simplify. We are going to look for two numbers that can multiply to give the 18, but those two numbers, one of it needs to be a perfect square. Okay, so the two numbers you can think of is 9 times 2. 9 times 2 is 18, and the 9 is a perfect square. So in place of the 18, I'm going to write 9 times 2. Okay, I hope you agree with me. So I'll have my 9 times 2. I hope you agree up to this point. Now let's go ahead and simplify further. Now the square root sign affects everything down here, so we can write it as square root of 25 times square root of 2, then plus this one also we are going to separate it by writing it as square root of 9 times square root of 2. I hope you agree with me up to this point. I can see it's not clear there. Okay, so let me clean it and write it all so that you can see everything. Okay, so we are going to have square root of 25 times square root of 2, okay, for this one. Then plus this one also is going to be square root of 9 times square root of 2. I hope it's clear now. Okay, from here we can simplify further. Okay, so now the square root of 25, we know the answer. Okay, so we are going to write the answer down for square root of 25, which is 5. So I'm going to get 5 times root 2, okay, plus square root of 9, we know the answer, it is 3. So it's going to be 3 times root 2. I hope you understand up to this point. Okay, so now let's multiply. So 5 times root 2 will give 5 root 2 plus 3 times root 2 will give 3 root 2. Okay, so now let's go ahead and add them. Okay, because it's addition, we can simplify further. They are like terms, so we can simplify. Okay, because this one has root 2, this one also has root 2, so they are like terms, so we can simplify. So 5 root 2 plus 3 root 2 is going to give me 8 root 2, and I hope you agree with me up to this point. Okay, so for the denominator, okay, so for the denominator we are getting 8 root 2, which is here, and for the numerator also we are getting 8 root 2. Okay, so now we have to join everything together. Okay, so I need more space to continue. Okay, so I'm going to clean this side, okay, so that we can continue from here. Okay, I hope you get the explanation up to this point. Okay, so we did for the numerator and we are getting 8 root 2. We went through the process, we got 8 root 2, and we've done for the denominator as well. Okay, this is the denominator. Okay, so don't confuse it with this one. Okay, so this is the denominator, which is square root of 50 plus square root of 18, and that is what you've solved, and we are getting 8 root 2 as well. Okay, so now we have to put the two together. Okay, so I'm going to clean here, okay, so that we can get enough space to continue. Okay, so let me continue from this side. Okay, so now let's continue from here, okay, because I need more space. Okay, so now the numerator I had 8 root 2, okay, and the denominator I had 8 root 2, so we are going to join them together. Okay, so it's going to be 8 root 2 all over 8 root 2. Okay, so the numerator we had 8 root 2 and the denominator we had 8 root 2, so now we join them together. Okay, so we know that this 8 root 2 and this 8 root 2, they are the same. Okay, so they will cancel away, so this one cancels off 1 and it will cancel this one also 1, so we are going to have 1 over 1, which is equals to 1, and this is our final answer for simplifying the question that we had on the board. I hope the explanation was clear enough and you understood it as well. Please don't forget to like the video and also share the video as well. See you again in another video whilst we handle another subtopic under the said. Bye bye.